The best of boys in town. I didn't realize the cold truth until someone inadvertently mentioned it to me in a communiqué on the net. Until then, I thought that it only applied to myself and my childhood friends, Tommy and Jake Boone and Bill Ream. I thought we were the only best of boys in town, because that's what Paul always called us. Paul was Paul Metrakis. Paul and his wife Emily owned and operated Paul's snack shop in the center of town on the north side of Liberty Avenue that in those years was sandwiched, no pun intended, between the local barber shop and the newsstand bus station. My view of Paul herein is woefully superficial. It is a child's notion of who he appeared to be. Very speculative, but honest. Paul, born 1897, and Emily, born 1905, were both natives of Greece. This partially explains the reason that they are pictured here with the active and ever-popular late Vermilion resident Steve Demoo. They, in brief, shared their proverbial roots. During the mid-20th century, Paul and Emily, a short, robust couple, lived next door to my family's home in a big house on the northwest corner of Perry and Ohio streets. They occupied the ground floor of the home and rented the upstairs apartment. I recall that a school teacher, William Young, and his family lived upstairs there for a time. Mr. Young was a sixth-grade school teacher. And later, a Vermilion gal named Leah Hampton Rue rented the apartment. To my knowledge, no one in the area knew one word of Greek. However, any neighbor within shouting range of the couple's home were afforded lessons in it every now and then. Their shouting spats were never anything serious. It was just enough to raise a few eyebrows, get a few chuckles, and cause a bit of head-scratching. Both Paul and Emily were good people. They divided duties at their shop equally. They never drove, nor had a car, and they never seemed to miss one day of work. At home, Emily did all the lawn work, and Paul appeared to confer with a rather substantial number of compatriots. I believe that he actually helped many of the folks from his homeland establish themselves in the world of American commerce. And as American commerce went, Paul was, to my youthful way of thinking, a veritable genius. It wasn't just his marketing strategy, which included a business card which read something to the effect, "Paul's Snack Shop, biggest little shop in town, seats 8,000, 8 at a time. Best coffee in town." And it wasn't just his operational moxie that confined the use of natural gas to the low mark on his grill unless otherwise needed, or the use of electricity, lights off, keeping the best coffee in town hot and the soft drinks cool. It was all of those things combined with his fabulous, stupendous, tremendous, monumentous chili dogs with everything. Oh my, forever will I remember those hot dogs. Forever will I recall washing one down with a bottle of pop. And forever will I remember crowding into Paul's shop with my friends and having him tell us that we were the best of boys in town, even if it wasn't true. Somewhere in the 1960s, after Paul began experiencing some health problems, they sold the shop and their house on Ohio Street and moved back to their homeland. And I'll just bet that somewhere in Greece there is another group of guys who, in their younger days, came to believe that they were the best of boys in town. Many thanks to my late friends Steve Demoo and Fred Wetzler for the photographs. Also to Ancestry.com. Social Security Death Index Records. This was an abridged story originally published in the Vermilion Photojournal on November 18, 2004, and is also featured in my book, Sketches of Yesteryear in Vermilion, Ohio, 2014. Well, that's it for this week. I do hope you enjoyed the story. Stay close, stay well, and come back next week for another story from Vermilion's Yesteryear.